Next up we got Cardinals and Jets. Lots of scoring, obviously. Just a really weird game. Really weird, especially considering where to start with this game. You know, it's weird. Where can you start with a game like this? Kurt Warner completed 40 passes for 472 yards, and his team didn't just lose, they got blown out. I think that's definitely one thing you got to think about when you talk about this game. Everybody wants to talk about Brett Favre for this game, as they should. He proved he still has it, and he makes you think maybe this isn't his last year. If he can still do this, and he's 39, why can't he still at least be a reasonable starting quarterback when he's 40? I know it's just one game, but how many quarterbacks in NFL history have thrown for 6 touchdowns in one game? Let's see. I don't want to be that guy because Favre played so well, but his first interception of the game, he threw one interception in the game, and if you get a chance to see it, do, because it was bad. It was bad. I wouldn't expect an undrafted rookie on his first play in the NFL to make a throw that bad. I don't know. He bounced back and had one of the best games of his career, so of course people are going to be cool with that, but still, I would be a little concerned after seeing a throw like that from a veteran. You know, with Favre playing that well, at the same time, the Cardinals blew some serious coverages. They left receivers wide open a couple times. Cotchery got wide open a couple times. Coles. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, I think that's his name. Cromartie got beat a couple times for touchdowns, and he was their first-round rookie that they wanted to come on and contribute immediately as a playmaker. And I haven't heard his name this season yet. They were falling down. I think Eric Green fell down on one of the Coles touchdowns. And you know, as for the Jets in the second half, people... I'm sorry, my camera's buzzing out again. I don't know how to fix that. But, you know, looking at the Jets' defense in the second half, people will be quick to point at how poorly their defense played, but it wasn't the prevent defense. And while I put that on Mangini for the choice to go into the prevent defense, a choice I can't really stick by, because I think the only thing that the prevent defense prevents is winning games. But I wouldn't judge him by it, is all I'm saying. I mean, that was somewhat suspicious that you could give up 35 points to a team that had 7-something turnovers, I think. 5, 6, 7? Something like that. Yeah. So this was just a weird game that I could go on for a while and a while. Have the Cardinals fooled us again by starting 2-0? You gotta ask that question now, kind of. We'll see. We still have so many questions in the NFL, and it hurts. But I haven't liked their coaching decisions the last 2 weeks. One thing that stuck out to me in this game was, with 10 seconds left in the half, the Cardinals needed to move the ball like 50 yards to get in range for a field goal. I don't think they had timeouts, and they were still trying to throw for it. It resulted in a turnover and another field goal for the Jets. So, little things like that. I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of this coaching staff right now. Just saying. Bucks Packers. You know, I got to give a lot of credit to this Tampa Bay defense. They've been rejuvenated. If I was an offense in the NFL, I wouldn't want to face these guys. These guys are scary right now. They're getting a great pass rush. They're making big plays. They're finding ways to do pretty much everything right. It feels like they got 20 guys on the field for the most part. Rodgers struggled. He knew it was going to happen. Some of it wasn't his fault. He was going up against a great defense and got unlucky a few times. And, you know, he had that letdown game, and you knew it was coming. And, you know, it was a good game. I saw this game too, actually. I watched this whole thing as well. And it was a good game. The Packers made a big play on defense with the Charles Woodson pick. Rodgers hung in there and made a couple plays to make up for his mistakes. because he had quite a few of both. But I think the biggest thing Green Bay did wrong that cost them the game is the general inability to run the ball, and Ryan Grant needs to step the hell up. People look at the Vikings game, look at his stats, and say, oh, that's pretty good. But he only really had one big run in that game, and everything else was just the same you've seen so far this year. He couldn't run against the Lions, the Cowboys, and now he couldn't run against the Bucks. I'm worried about the one-hit wonder thing with Ryan Grant right now, because there was no film on him last year. Now there's film on him. Now what? What's going to happen now? You ask yourself these things. And, you know, I stand by my opinion on the Bucks. They'll probably win a few games. They got a good defense, like I said. They can run the ball, but if they have Brian Griese, I can't take them seriously as a contender. With Garcia, I can see it. But Griese, you know, he has thrown 3 interceptions the last 2 games, and you can still call him resilient for hanging in there and winning both those games. And it's probably the best 2 weeks by any quarterback I have ever seen who managed to throw 6 interceptions over those 2 games. So you can at least say that about him. Regardless, I think Gruden should make up with Garcia ASAP, and I seriously doubt that's possible. So I think at some point, having Brian Griese in there is going to hurt them. Titans-Vikings. Time to take the Titans for real. No way around it. You know, you can say what you want about their passing game and the fact that there's no redeemable quality to it except for maybe the ability to protect the ball. You know, they've got this average old quarterback who I still don't trust. They don't have any notable players at receiver or tight end. What happened to Crumpler, by the way? I was thinking this the other day. What happened to Algie Crumpler? But even so, Chris Johnson is probably the Rookie of the Year. He'd get my vote right now. Chris Johnson, Rookie of the Year. I feel it. The defense punishes people, and they got everything going for them right now. They got the good linebackers. They got the great defensive line. Hainsworth, the underrated Tony Brown, the undervalued Kyle Vanden Bosch, Cortland Finnegan, Michael Griffin. This team looks like a division winner contender, and I still believe in the Colts. I think they'll bounce back and make everyone forget about these first 3 weeks of the season. But Tennessee has a head start on them now, and that gap might be hard to close. It's pretty obvious that Collins has the job right now, and Young is going to have to earn it to get it back. So these Titans, they might be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. They look like the best team in it right now, I think. Man, a Titans-Bills AFC Championship game, that would be crazy, and it would bring back memories. So, as for the Vikings, again, I don't really like some of the coaching decisions, like that punt at the end of the game. I know the game was pretty much over, but Brad Childress later said, I thought we could get the ball back, but there were less than 2 minutes left. You had no timeouts. There was 0 chance of getting the ball back, unless they fumbled the kneel down, and you can't, and I'll be damned if you can count on that. So, you know, Vikings 1-3. Don't want to count them out yet, but my general rule: if you have at any point 3 more losses than wins on your record, you might need to start packing it in. 3-0, 1-4, etc. But Adrian Peterson did have another good day. If nothing else, Vikings can help Adrian Peterson to have a great season, and I think he will. Chargers-Raiders. Another slow start by San Diego. I think this comes back to them not using the preseason. San Diego likes to take it easy and play backups pretty much the entire preseason. LT never plays. And the last couple years, they've started seasons slow. I think there's a connection here. LT needs to start sucking it up and playing in the preseason. You risk injury, but maybe that's better than playing like crap for the first 4 games of the season. Well, you know what? They played well against the Jets, but they started slow in that game too. Don't forget that. They started a little sluggish, and near the end of the game piled it on. As for Oakland, well, they showed some signs of life. Russell finally made a big play. That throw to Zach Miller was great, probably his best throw of the season, and he's got a cannon on him. But once again, the Raiders blow a lead. Raiders blow a lead, and it looks like Lane Kiffin is out. So that's your 2008 Oakland Raiders.